for all the vegetables that we're going to put into this, the shiitake mushrooms, the cremini mushrooms, the carrots, the parsley, all the vegetables is a little bit more time consuming than your typical vegan recipe. I'm going to get started chopping vegetables. So we have all our vegetables prepared. And to give you a quick shot of all the vegetables that we have. You can see what we have. I have rutabagas, carrots, onions, shiitakes, creminis, spinach, parsley, eggplant. Add about, you can really 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm going to go ahead and add the onions first. Always onions first. It's very, very important to always add your onions first, because you want to caramelize those so you get a deeper flavor for your dish. Once I have the onions somewhat caramelized, I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic. I'm going to go ahead and add the mushrooms, both types of mushrooms. I'm going to go ahead and add the eggplant. Give that a quick stir, real quick stir. And take a look at it and see what you think. If you think you need a little bit more oil, as the mushrooms cook a little bit, some moisture will come out of it. Water will come out of the creminis especially, and it will start to make a little bit of a sauce in the bottom. But we are going to add vegetable stock to this as well. But we want to cook these vegetables a little bit before we add the vegetable broth. If you feel like you need to add a little bit more olive oil, which I do, obviously, just go ahead and add a little bit more so you can cook the rest of these vegetables. Some of the moisture is coming out. They're well coated with the oil, which is what I'm really looking for. I'm going to turn this down to medium now. I'm going to go ahead and add my vegetable broth. About 1 cup. More vegetable broth. And then you want to add your lentils. Season along the way. Make sure you put salt and pepper in to taste for each part of this recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and add that now. We're going to use a full 32-ounce container of, I've got Central Market Organics here. But you can pick whichever vegetable broth you like. There are some that have more flavor and some that have less. So feel free to pick the one you would like. So while I'm waiting on my vegetable lentil base, I went ahead and seasoned the rutabaga and carrots. Just simple olive oil, salt, pepper. I'm gonna roast them for about 20 minutes until they're golden brown, maybe a little bit longer, but check on them after about 15. So towards the end, you can see that the lentils have soaked up the majority of the liquid so far. So what you want to do now is you want to go ahead and cover it with foil and let it finish. Turn it down low and check it pretty regularly every couple of minutes to see when it's done. Lentils cook very quickly, so make sure you stay on top of it. Here I have the tofu, which I'm going to roast to dry out somewhat. Here are our herbs. We have rosemary, sage, and thyme, which we'll add to the parsley, which we'll add to the lentil vegetable stew mix that we made. It's going to be awesome. So we've stirred in the spinach while the lentil mushroom vegetable mix was hot. Make sure it all wilts in there really good. So now we're going to continue to the next step. So here we have our roasted tofu. In doing some research, I found out that you can freeze your tofu, thaw it out, refreeze it, and thaw it out again, and it will give it a completely different texture and dry it out. So we're going to use roasted this time and see how it comes out. So these are our final ingredients after they've been prepared for the vegan roast with gluten. So we have the seitan, we have the herbs, we have the roasted root vegetables. Here I have carrots and rutabaga. We have nutritional yeast, we have soy sauce, and we have our vegetable lentil mixture. So here is our mixture. After it's been pureed, it will take a few rounds of pureeing in your blender, but you need to make sure that it's pureed as much as you can get it. Put a little bit in the bottom at a time, puree it, remove it, and add another round until it's all pureed, and then fold it all together like I talked about before. So we folded in 3.5 cups of Vital wheat gluten to form kind of a wet dough. You don't want it to be too dry. So we'll move on from here, and I'll separate the loaves, 2 to freeze and 1 to cook. You could actually probably get 4 small ones out of this. Let's go ahead and do that. 4 small ones. I'm going to put these in a 350 degree oven. Now at this point, if you would rather wrap these in plastic and put them in the freezer to make later, you can, or you can go ahead and pre-bake them so that they're ready to use. They're ready to go whenever you just pull them from the freezer, pop them in the oven for probably about 15 or 20 minutes on 350, and they'll be ready to serve. I'm going to pop these in the oven. The vegan roast needs to cook for about an hour and 10 minutes, so it gets a nice brown on the outside, and then it'll be ready to go. To make your vegan gravy, it's best to start with store-purchased vegetable broth. Now, I don't think any of them are strong enough or good enough. So any scraps that you have left over, whenever you're cooking, anything you have left over you can add vegetable, herbs to your purchased vegetable stock from the store, that's exactly what you should do. So here I have just a few things. I have onion, garlic, some leftover green onions, and some herbs, and I'm just going to put all of this into the stock. I'm not going to roast it or anything. You can if you would like, but it's all going to go directly into the stock, so it'll fortify. So here we have our vegan roast after about an hour of cooking. You can see it's nice and tender. Not too much gluten. If you put too much wheat gluten in there, it will not, it will be too chewy, tough as a boot. This vegan field roast smells awesome. It has good texture. I'm gonna go ahead and slice it up, plate it up, put some gravy on it, and have a bite. Beautiful. So that's our field roast. Looks great, all natural. This is one of the best things that I think that you can make if you're a vegan, and once you learn how to do it, it's not too hard. Hope you enjoy it.